How you doing? This is Professional Boxing. I just want to make a video right now about the current, in my opinion, the current heavyweight division right now. I see Deontay Wilder just defended his belt for the 10th time against Luis Ortiz. In my opinion, I think he was carrying him in that fight. Luis Ortiz boxed beautifully, but I think Deontay Wilder, if he really pushed himself, he could have stopped him in the first or second round. Uh, Luis Ortiz boxed for his age pretty good, but he fought a fighter that really wasn't committing himself in the first early rounds. Um, like always, he's looking for a spectacular finish, and he was able to do that. I think Deontay Wilder at this present time, even though with WBC heavyweight stats being stacked up pretty good this time, with fighters like Adam Kowalski, with good contenders, uh, still he's two or three notches above the current heavyweight crop. I don't think the Tyson Fury fight is gonna happen. Tyson Fury sustained a lot of damage to a mediocre fighter like Odie Wallman in his last showing. Now he's going into wrestling. So I think Tyson Fury is going to try to milk his career as much as possible before he steps in the ring with Deontay Wilder. He's also going to wait for Deontay Wilder's skill to diminish by age. And he's going to try to get the biggest purse for that fight. I don't think that fight, in my opinion, will ever take place. Um, Now, the other two heavyweights that are going to be fighting soon is Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua is going to overcome this opponent, Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, to me, I like him a lot. He got fast hands, but he's just too small for the heavyweight division. Um, Fast hands don't cut it all in heavyweight division. He doesn't have the one or the power. Uh, he sustains too many hits. He has hit too much. His defense not too great. So I think that was his career best performance against Anthony Joshua. That was overworked, oversparred. Uh, um, we saw some of his skills deteriorating. Like he likes to admire his work when he hurts his opponent, and that's what caused him the loss. Because he could have finished the guy. Like Eddie Hearn was right in his opinion of that fight. He was very accurate because if Anthony Joshua would have committed himself after he dropped him a little more, he would have been able to defend that belt and possibly moved on to a unification fight with Deontay Wilder at this present time instead of Deontay Wilder trying to hunt now on Tyson Fury. So yeah, in the heavyweight division, I hear guys like Dillian White um, complaining all the time. Guys like Tyson Fury himself complaining all the time, calling himself a lineal champion, which he got stripped because he got stripped for that lineal heavyweight championship because I mean basically he retired, gave up the thing, got suspended for being on testing positive. Um, Instead of fighting contenders, he spazzed out and got into mental stuff, and he decided to come back, and they reinstated him because he was suing the people, and they would have been bankrupt, so they had to put him back. So he did a comeback against these mediocre fighters, and I mean the first fight that he did when he did a comeback with guy was practically a taxi driver, and then the second fight for that dude Pianetta, he's a punching bag. Then now these other two guys that he fought, the first one Schwartz, he knocked him out in the first round. Schwartz wasn't committed at all. I don't think he had that kind of experience at all. Then the second one, Oda Wallen, basically he won that fight, but they didn't stop the fight. They let Tyson Fury box with a humongous cut on his head, and now he's seeing the aftermath from that. No talks about a rematch with Odie Wallen. Got into the wrestling thing, looking for big paydays. That's what Tyson Fury is all about. Then another thing nobody mentioned this last fight with Marcellus Wilder. I think Marcellus Wilder. I spoke to a good friend of mine after that fight, and I think Marcellus Wilder could cut weight. He's coming in at 185 to defend his belt. To build his career at cruiserweight, and he's trying to imitate his brother too much. I think the being he's related to Deontay Wilder, I think that's affecting him. I think if he cut more weight, uh, he has either two choices: either cut weight and go down to 175 if he can, because he look kind of dry. I think that's the driest he come in, or rehydrate himself or bulk up more to a heavyweight division. And forget about the cruiserweights. The cruiserweights that he's fighting are pretty good. They're bigger than him. He's having trouble with guys like 6'5", Dustin Long, stuff like that. So what he got to do is either cut down weight to 175 or either move up to heavyweight, but cruiserweight's not for him. And that's in my opinion. Because he won those fights. He was winning those fights that he has the two losses. But Marcellus Wilder, but he got hit and one shot and the fight was over. So if he wants to be in has to show the pedigree of his brother Deontay, he's gonna have to either move to heavyweight or go down to light heavyweight. I think if he does the road work, he cuts down, maybe he could lose the 10 pounds one way or the other and then hydrate back to cruiserweight weight when he fights, back to 185 and fight at 185. But he, hydrating, that's what everybody's doing now. So yeah, so coming back to Deontay Wilder, I think Deontay Wilder should just forget about unifying, forget about Tyson Fury and continue to do what he's doing. People say, oh, but he's fighting fighters that he could beat. Hey, he's been in the game. He just tied the defenses of Muhammad Ali at 10 defenses. I think he could do 5 more defenses and then call it a day. Get into movies, get into other things, get into promoting his brother's career. I think Deontay Wilder should get a little more into promoting his brother's career. After 5 defenses, maybe that help his brother out. You'll slow him down, take some of the pressure off. And another thing is, there's a fighter now, he has a title. He has a second tier title in the heavyweight division for over 2 years. 2 years. That means he could have had a woman as a wife. She could have been pregnant and gave birth to the child. The child would have been 1 year and change now. That's the amount of time that Mahmoud Charr has been champion without defending. He beat Alexander Ustinov by decision and became the WBA heavyweight champion, the second tier belt, the world title, and has not defended it. He was supposed to fight Fred Oquendo, tested positive, and that's 2 years ago. And Fred Oquendo still ranked 10 in the WBA. They say he's ancient. If Fred Oquendo will grow his hair back, it'll be all gray. So I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand why the heavyweights are knocking on his door and fighting him. I see in lower divisions people fighting and winning this title, the WBA World Championship, the regular belt, and defending it. So Rene Alvarado just won that belt and beat Cancio. So if they could do that 130 and win that belt, if a guy like Gervonta Davis could become a champion at 135 for that belt, the same belt that Manuel Charr possesses, then why isn't Manuel Charr defending his belt now? Manuel Charr has to handpick an opponent soon. He's supposed to be doing the mandatories for the WBA heavyweight division. He's not doing none. I don't understand what's the situation with him. He seems to be an eloquent heavyweight. In the Eastern European German circuit, he's very popular. He's also a ranked fighter. He also always has a world title. I don't want to see why guys are not fighting him. in the heavyweight division. They all I hear is song and dances, excuses. Like Dillian White. Dillian White has the WBC version of that belt, um, the interim WBC belt. So I don't understand why is he not fighting, unifying against that belt that Manuel Charles has. I don't see why guys like Kubra Pulev, a highly ranked fighter, not contesting for that WBA regular belt, which will make him more promotable and more rankable. I don't see, and especially at his aging career, he's 38, 37, and has not won a world title. Um, if Manuel Charles so easy to fight, then why anybody's not fighting him? It's been 2 years. Like I said before, he could have got married 2 years ago. Uh, his wife could have been made, conceived a child, and the child would have been a year old by now, and he still hasn't defended the belt. I just don't come, especially in the heavyweight division. I mean, he could do a title defense against Joey the Tank Duerco. I mean, a pretty good fighter like that. He could fight a B class fighter that's on the come up, that could tank Duerco, and that would be a good fight, and a good defense for him. I don't think Tank Duerco ever fought 12 rounds. Although I'm pretty sure they're both compatible, you know. I think Manuel has better boxing skills, could move or box. But Dojo Record carries a punch. He's been in there with guys like Brian Jennings. He's been there with good quality fighters like Amir Mansour. So, I mean, I just want to see this guy defend his belt. And if not defend the belt, just find out somebody else that could defend that belt and give the WBA the recognition they deserve. Um, Once again, this is professional boxing with Suleiman Oscar. I just wanted to give my input, you know. Haven't been on for a while. Been working, and also before I'm done with this video, Andy Ruiz, you trying to lose the weight? I understand. Um, I guess you've seen a nutritionist, but I think you better have your game plan when you fight Joshua. Joshua's gonna come in and take those belts back, so you better be able to box and move. Um, don't take the risk you took in the first fight, because you did take a lot of punishment in that fight. And box and move. Uh, look at your opponent more serious. Take your opponent more seriously, because he's a big heavyweight, and he's been there with better guys and with very good guys. I'm not gonna say better than you because you're a world champion, but he's been there with good guys. He's been there with a Klitschko and managed to knock him out. He's been in there with a Povetkin. He's been in there with good fighters. Charles Martin, ex heavyweight champ, and take his IBF belt. He's also a big heavyweight, southpaw. So you just better be on your P's and Q's right there when you're fighting this guy for the rematch. Um, and then try to push for unification right away. I know you got mandatories and you don't want to be stripped. I guess you got to pay them some step aside money or something, some good negotiation. But you should push for unification right away. Unify those belts before they get splintered and fractured. And it's going to be much harder to have a WBA heavyweight champion afterwards. So once again, this is Suleiman Ayaskar from Professional Boxing. I'm going to show you if I can make more videos shortly. And you guys have a great night. Take care.